All right, good morning, trade pros. Welcome to our morning market update for Monday, May 13th of 2019. This is George Fapsov, Trade Pro Academy. I hope you are all having a great morning so far. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. You had a chance to relax, unwind with your family, friends, and loved ones. Happy belated Mother's Day to all the awesome moms out there that are part of the Trade Pro LFM community. And I hope you had some time to spend with your family to celebrate and recognize Mother's Day. All right, awesome times indeed. Let's get started with today's market. There's a lot of volatility, tons of opportunity, and a ton of news. So let's start off the top with a quick little morning market fun fact. About $14 billion of U.S. equities and mutual funds flowed out of equity. So basically, mutual funds and equity indices and market managers or portfolio managers sold $14 billion worth of equities last week. The week ended on Wednesday. So last Wednesday to the Wednesday prior, which is the largest outflow from the equity market since January of this year, according to Bank of America Merrill Lynch, on their EPFR Global Tracker, which is their fund manager tracker. But the Commitment to Traders report confirms the same thing. Huge outflows of equities. Hang on. What was that?
But they're confident that trade talks will continue.
Okay, that's not news. We'll talk about Boeing. They're in the news. So let's move on to the trade news. Hang on a sec, guys. I got to hear this. All right. Donald Trump tweeted this morning. He said, "I say openly to President Xi and all my friends in China that China will be hurt very badly if you don't make a deal, because companies will be forced to leave China for other countries. Too expensive to buy in China. You had a great deal, almost completed, and you backed out." That was his tweet this morning. He tweeted once more. He said, "We're right where we want to be with China. Remember, they broke the deal with us and tried to renegotiate. We will be taking in tens of billions of dollars in tariffs from China. Buyers of product can make it themselves in the USA or buy it from non-tariff countries if they want to avoid tariffs." So it's a major escalation in the latest news. So if you think about this, just about a week ago in a day, last Sunday, everything was great. Market was chugging the new all-time highs. All right, negotiations were going awesome. And then suddenly you start to hear things fall apart. And in the last week of the negotiations, everything fell through the cracks. Now, where do we stand at the moment? The United States has increased the tariffs on $200 billion worth of goods that come in from China from 10% to 20%, 25% rather. And that's starting as soon as the shipping containers rather that leave China as of last Friday at 12 a.m. So those shipping containers that have already left after that point, they have the new tariffs imposed. China said they'll retaliate this morning. They announced their retaliation. They plan to slap new levies on $60 billion worth of U.S. goods. All right, they're raising tariffs starting on June 1st. They may stop purchasing U.S. agricultural products. They're still mulling that over, but right now the immediate response is tariffs of 25% on $60 billion worth of goods. Now, if you think about it, the United States has raised on $200 billion worth of goods. It's because China doesn't have a surplus with the U.S., so they're running out of assets or imports from the U.S. to tariff. So here's what they said. Now, this is where it gets dangerous, because I always thought this is the last card that China would want to play. I didn't think they'd throw it out this quickly in the negotiation. But China may stop purchasing U.S. agricultural products and energy, reduce Boeing orders, and restrict U.S. service trade with China. Now, here's the dangerous sentence in all this. Many Chinese scholars are discussing the possibility of dumping U.S. treasuries and how to do it specifically. All right. It's not just an idea. It's an action plan that's being kind of devised and worked on. Selling treasuries is the nuclear button. All right. This takes the trade war to a whole nother level on China's behalf. If they take that action, that's a huge response and a pretty dangerous one as well. All right. That has the ability, knock on wood, I don't want to like warmonger here or scare anybody, but it's got the ability to start a potential hot to cold war, or cold to a hot war rather, the other way around. All right. Where this is just a political battle, but it's got the ability to become something real with that step, because what that does is dumping treasuries threatens the United States budget. They need the budget to pay for the military and all the expenses that come with it. All right. It's going to get very hairy very quick if there's no deal made. The stakes are high at the moment. That's why the market's freaking out. All right. Look at the S&P 500. Overnight low is 28.28 even, and the open was 28.88. We're down 60 handles on a gap lower. And anyone who held stocks over the weekend, like we said last week, what did we say on Thursday's morning market update? All right, you may not want to hold that many stocks over the weekend. You might want to lighten your exposure because there's a lot of risk over the weekends in these days. Anyone that held stocks is waking up this morning, they can't do anything about it if you're trading stocks. If you're trading futures, heck, you've already made money to the downside too. All right, so that's kind of what's going on here. In the markets overall, Japan's down 1%, Hong Kong's closed today, China's down 1.2. Excuse me, India's down 1%. In Europe, at midday, London's down 1/10, Paris down 6/10, Frankfurt's down 0.8 of a percentage point. Futures in the United States all down more than 1%. S&P down 1.3, Dow down 1.2, Nasdaq down almost 2 whole percentage points. All right, the crude oil price is up almost 2%. Saudi Arabia on Monday. This is another factor that's scaring equity markets. So this was missed by a lot of people, so it wasn't reported that widely. Saudi Arabia said this morning that 2 of its oil tankers had been sabotaged and attacked off the coast of the UAE, United Arab Emirates, in attacks describing as posing a threat to the security of global oil supplies. And this has the ability to start an escalation between U.S. allies and Iran. All right, this is the danger. This is happening in a world through which a lot of oil flows, a lot of oil supply, and any fear of a supply disruption led to upside in oil. So oil's rallied quite a significant amount. Oil charts right up here, you guys could see from about this morning when this news hit, about 4 a.m. See one rally leg up. We were trading at 61.60. Now we're trading at 63.20. I mean, heck, the overnight low was even lower than that. Overnight low was at 61.20. Now we're trading almost at 62 or 63 even. Hold on, we're way above that. 61.20. Now it's 63.20. So $2 rally on oil. It took me a long time to calculate that. It's still morning. Gold prices were down slightly this morning, but they too have taken off. Gold's now at 1297.40. Huge rally. Vic, remember what we said in the morning? I literally told Victoria, I'm like, I wonder why gold's not going up. Yeah, and in 10 minutes, went up $10 an ounce. Bitcoin's down 0.4%, or not 0.4, down 4%. But that's not right. Over the weekend, Bitcoin's moved a lot. I think over $1,200 or $1,300 per Bitcoin. Jumped more than 10% on Sunday, up more than 90% year to date. All right, rising to a 9-month high. Here's the big question about Bitcoin. Has Bitcoin become a safe haven asset? That's the question. I asked this question 2 years ago. We didn't have an answer. And I think until today, we're starting to see that it's starting to move more like a safe haven asset. What does a safe haven asset mean? It's a safety play. So whenever there's fear in the global system, money needs to find safety, right? It's not like when equities go down, everyone sells and puts some money in their mattress. That's what retail traders do. It's not what institutional traders do. They sell equities and they have to put money somewhere else because they've been entrusted with this responsibility by clients. So what do they start looking for? Other assets that perform well in times of turmoil in equity markets. Those assets are utilities, gold, all right, some commodity markets, bonds, and which are treasuries, and currency markets of some sorts. Usually the yen is a good safe haven, a safe play. So the question is Bitcoin becoming one of these? And if it is becoming one of these safe haven assets, what will happen on the next big rally? If this ends up being resolved 2 to 3 weeks from now, how will Bitcoin react? Or is this just a rally that's outside of what's going on in the equity market? That's a really interesting question. We're going to watch it closely. The only way to answer that is to watch the correlation between the stock market and Bitcoin. If you're on TradingView, there's actually a correlation coefficient study, CC. It's actually called correlation coefficient. That's all you need to put on there, and you could track that in real time. All right, that's what we got for you guys today in the morning. Sell rallies. It's the way to go. Not any economic events. In fact, 9:05 Fed's Rosengren speaking at the moment. 9:10 Fed's Clarita. We'll review that in the moment when I turn around with the trading team. Other than that, sell rallies in equity markets. There might be a little bit of a pop early on off the open, and we've seen that a lot of times in the last couple of days during this trade war. We open weak, rally up a little bit, get everyone excited for a long, get them into a long trade, sharp reversal downside. We just carry through with momentum. All right. So watch out for that. Stay on the short side today until proven otherwise. I think selling rally is the way to go. Oil, you got to give it a couple minutes to see how the market settles and if there's any new news. Oil is elevated because of this escalation, and the big news is what's next. And we don't know what's next, and what's next is going to impact it. So trade careful on oil today. Trade smaller. Be quicker. Follow the 3 rules to start out while this volatility is going on from news. and the equity market has a better opportunity today. I don't say that often. I haven't said that often the last couple months because oil has been more opportunistic today. Equities will have more opportunity and volatility. All right, we'll see you guys in the trading room. If you want to trade with us, come on out. If you don't, then don't come on out. You guys have a great rest of your days. Appreciate you. Send you love, joy, and happiness, and we'll see you tomorrow for another morning market update. Take care. Goodbye. All right, trade pros in the room. Let's make some money today. There's going to be a lot of it to be made. A ton of volatility stepping in. Gold's responding. VIX is moving up as well, giving us some sure signs that we're going to have volatility through today's session. And so that equals opportunity. I'll tell you guys where it is at S&P 500. We'll start to draw some levels. Then I'll hand it over to Victoria to talk about NASDAQ. Boxy will do oil. And we'll start the day. There's going to be a ton of fun today and opportunity to make money. So let me kick it off with the S&P 500. And I'll give you guys some high probability trading levels with low risk.